But it still has a long way to go. Ukraine's the 3rd of August 7 the 21st of August September 18 the 3rd of August the 7th of August 21 September 18th held 15 kilometers 50 Tokmak C-axis in June faces great risks prepared launch its counteroffensive without a decisive victory. Western support could weaken and Kiev could face pressure negotiate ceasefire. Ukrainian forces have since broken through first-line defense at some Russian positions on this southern line of advance. The most promising front counteroffensive. Kiev forces recapture the small village of Robotyne. It was a tactical victory that underlined the major challenges ahead. Progress has been arduous and slow. In some weeks, troops moved only a few meters at a time along this line of advance. The soldiers face familiar obstacles: mines, trenches and new Russian forces, well as challenges such cooling weather and approaching autumn rains. The first major strategic target of this line of southern advance, the railway and transport hub Tokmak City, is still 25 kilometers away. 30 miles south Tokmak is the coastal city of Melitopol. The first target Ukraine's widely anticipated counteroffensive. Even further away is Sea of Azov, which Ukrainian troops must reach to cut the so-called land bridge between Russia and occupied Crimean Peninsula. The bloody advance towards Tokmak is small part of a front line stretching several hundred miles. It is part of wider advance in which Ukrainian forces are trying to break through elsewhere in the south and east. Luhansk in Russian hands. Ukrainian counterattack. Velika Novosilka Donetsk robot field rammer shown above. Zaporizhia Russia. Kharkiv Luhansk Bakhmut in Russian hands. Ukrainian counterattack. Donetsk shown above. SK Robotyne area. Tokmak Mariupol Zaporizhia detail area. Melitopol Berdyansk Kiev. Sea of Azov. Kharkiv in Russia's hands. Luhansk counterattack. Velika Novosilka counterattack. Donetsk Robotyne Tokmak Zaporizhia of Source Research Institute. American Enterprise Institute's Combating Critical Threats project. After series of victories last year, military analysts expected a Ukrainian counteroffensive in the summer would attempt to disrupt Russian supply lines to the south and create wedge between western Russia and Russian-occupied Crimea. The Russian army expected the same and prepared accordingly. Moscow moved troops into relatively flat areas in southern Ukraine, dug new fortifications and dispersed landmines. World War II broke out in Europe when Ukraine began its offensive with newly advanced Western tanks and equipment. It faced a prepared defense of a kind not seen since World War II. Ukraine surged forward in June, but quickly lost tanks, troops, and other armored vehicles due to dense minefields and prepared Russian troops. Kiev forces initially used American tactics better suited to the last century than to the current battlefield in Ukraine. Since August, fighting has centered on the small Ham